What up on in there? It's your boy Brian D coming at you. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to do a review of Axis and Allies 1942 online. I've been playing this for a while, and I think I have a pretty good grasp on it. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with the options just because it's one of the easiest things. They have pretty good control overall. Um, you can choose to have music on or off, sound effects, human sounds, ambient sounds, that type of thing. I turn them all off just because I really don't care. Um, the map and such, I have that at high and ultra settings, anti-alias on, and this. A couple other things I turn off, and animation is off, of course. Input, this is the controls of the game. Go ahead and take a look. Pause the video if you want to look at it a little bit more in depth. Gameplay, AI. I don't really play games against the AI. It's not a challenge at all. I've played that many times actually, and in the past, and I'll have one country. Doesn't matter which country that I'll play, and the other ones I'll just buy infantry to protect their capitals, and I can clear the whole board. Forfeit confirmation is always a good thing, and a couple other things that they have available. And defense profile. This is one of the biggest things about this type of game that a lot of people are unhappy with. They in designing the game, Beamdog went for having it to be yeah, asynchronous play, which basically means that you don't play at the same time as your opponent. All previous Axis and Allies games, you did play at the same time or took turns. Uh, but with today's day and age, they felt that it was best to go with turn-based and a defense profile to automatically keep things moving. Otherwise, when you rolled your attack moves, you'd have to wait for your opponent to roll defense moves, and with a lot of combats in there, that could take forever. So I understand why they did that. But basically, this is where you can set up how things are taken, in what order, that type of thing. So I'll show you one, for instance. This is Japan's defense profile. On land combat, I usually have the bomber taken first just because I want to try to keep as many ground units as possible. Sometimes I will change that. Anti-aircraft, I always get destroyed first in any thing, just because it's an extra hit and it doesn't roll back after the initial attack on aircraft that are coming in. Sea combat, this is how I have it set up. Submerging defenders, sometimes I turn that on and off, and that allows you, if they don't have a destroyer in their navy, you can submerge and they can't hit you, basically. Um, Battleships take two shots to be destroyed, so I always take one hit, the first two hits on my one or two, however many battleships I have, on the battleship, and then it goes through the battleship. It's at the end. Transports in this game don't fire any defensive rolls, which is a huge change from the Axis and Allies that I grew up with. Um, that's basically that. Defense profile, go offline, credits, etc., that type of thing. Next thing I'd like to go into is the profile and their ranking systems. I'm ranked silver. I'm not very good. But there's really no uh, there's hardly any what am I trying to say, details about how you're playing. Like how is their rank determined? Maybe it's buried on some post somewhere on the internet, but I've never really seen that fully explained to me. Another bad thing about this game is that you have to every season, which they last usually about 6 months or so, uh, they reset the rankings and they require 5 games from each side to get uh, in placement matches. And every season it's been the same, and it's kind of annoying in a way because again, I have no idea what my overall win loss record is since I started playing this game, which has been about a year and a half or so, and it's just inadequate for what it is. Um, and your history as well, same thing. They only goes back for this season, so I can't really go back. But I do want to talk about the interface and how certain things work. So say I do want to look at a game that I just finished, whatever reason. So you can go in here and you can view the game, and it will show the final. You can view the final board, and how it ended. Now that's fine and dandy and stuff, but a huge problem, and one that every Axis and Allies computer game got before this, was the game state and phases. Sure, I can go back, this lasted 10 rounds. I go back to round one, and I want to see how he beat me or I beat him, etc., that type of thing. Well, sure, it has the information of what they bought, the combat that they sent in, and then the results, non-combat move, etc., mobilization. And sure, it's all printed, but the problem is that this really should show this on the map as you go through. You should be able to go back through and advance through phases so that you can see the state of the game board. It really helps a lot as far as playing. I found, and it's just an oversight. It's something that could have been done very easy. They do record after every battle attack, that type of thing, because I've had the game crash and pick up right where it was. So there's really no excuse for this. Could have been much better. Um, the interface is not too bad. It's like anything else. You use it to, um, once you learn it, it's very easy to do. But again, this is just a big problem. Sure, he bought 7 tanks, 7 infantry, 2 tanks, 2 artilleries. How did that play out? Um, and so it's just, yeah, I don't. It's just a thing that was missed hugely. It should easily do that. You just save the game state, and but I'm not a programmer, so who knows? Another thing that kind of annoys me is um, the lack of options. So let's say I want to play a game. Uh, Great, I can play rank play, custom game, create a custom game, or join one. So rank play is fine. You can choose either Axis or Allies. That's great. But a big problem is that you can't choose who your opponent is going to be. At least I'm not aware. If there's a way, please let me know in the comments. I may get a couple things wrong, and I'm looking for some feedback. That would be great. But say I have a friend of mine, I want to play him. Uh, I can play him. I think with a custom game, I can have him join that type of thing. But we can't play ranked play against each other. I think they just assign uh, a random opponent. based on your rank. And you see I'm ranked silver. It says I'm number 323 in Axis and number 283 in Allies. I don't quite understand how that works, but these are basically the top 10. And why can't I only see the top 10? Why can't I see the full list? Where's that at? Um, but there's different levels. Gold, I think, was the highest I've ever finished in, and platinum, I've never made it. But yeah, I'm in silver right now. One thing I'm happy I'm not in Wood League, hence my name, Wood League Life. But anyway, everybody has their own learning curve and that type of thing. So yeah, you have 24 hours to complete a turn. If you don't complete a turn, it's an automatic loss. You can only have one queue, etc. This is another problem too. Say you're in a game and you want to quit it. Like here, I'll show you one of my games. Say I want to quit this game. See, watch. Oh, they changed it, I guess. There used to be a little notification on here that forfeiting a game could possibly cause repercussions. I forget the actual wording it was, but it sounded like it was like more. Uh, it was you got penalized more if you forfeited rather than just letting your time run out. So I'm glad to see that they fixed that. So that's not a that's not a problem. It's an interesting game. I just took Germany, and I figured he would quit, but I guess he's going to go on. Um, so going back to the how am I offline? I didn't think I did that. Oh, okay. Just took a minute for it to come back on, I guess. Single player, they do have options. If you want to play against the computer, you can choose whichever countries you want to be. I wonder if I can choose to be both sides. Interesting. I didn't realize you could do that. But they have a couple different options available. You can choose the scenario, the original, which was second edition, or the one that is played in ranked play. They move the bomber and remove some other units. Victory condition standard, which is 9, or total, which are all of them. Dice mode, they have a couple different options for people that like to play low luck bias, which is good. I don't begrudge people for playing how they want. One of the hugest problems in this game, though, too, is, and this is the number one issue that this game has, is the inability to edit the board. Every Axis and Allies release before this, going all the way back to the old AAA, has allowed you to do this. As most people know, generally they try to balance it as close as possible between the Axis and Allies, but they cannot get it exact. So over the years, people play and then they use what's called a bid, where basically you bid, okay, I'll bid 9 to play the Allies. And basically what that means is that before the game starts, you have 9 IPCs to place units wherever you want. That type of thing, just to try to even it out a bit. Not having an edit functionality really, really detracts from this game because, say you wanted to make a custom scenario or just to institute a bid to try to make it a little bit more even. There's no way to do that. And while it may be a tough thing to program, it was something they really missed the ball on when they were programming. Um, you know, just adding units would be enough. I've seen other ones where you can actually edit the borders of the game, that type of thing. And that, really was one of the fun parts. I used to be a member of this group called Spring 1942, which was an online group for the old Hasbro Axis and Allies. Came out, I think, in '99 or something like that. And it was great because we could edit everything. They made unique scenarios with special rules, that type of thing. Here, they never did it. I've heard them, Beamdog, mention that, of course, they only have the license for the 1942 online game, but that is the game itself. Adding or having editing capabilities doesn't change the fact that it's the game itself originally. Um, but yeah, that's the number one thing that I have against it. They do some good things as well. I'm not trying to dog on them. They did a lot of great things here. It's always nice to not have to set up and roll and that type of thing. And I think they have some helpful tutorials. Well, this is one that is a video and shows you different moves, that type of thing. But Help More, I saw this recently, and that has a ton of information, links to the board game rules, gameplay differences, that type of thing, and how everything works. I'll quickly go through this, but basically, overview is its axis against the Allies, ways to achieve victory, air units, sea units, talks about the different units achieving victory. These are all the victory cities. Game flow, it starts with purchase phase. You buy the units you want to use for the next turn. Go to combat, where you attack the other countries that you want to attack. Non-combat move, or you move things that haven't participated in combat. And then when you mobilize your things. I'll just scroll through these. If you want to read them, you can pause the video, but they have also some options too. Retreating from C zone. So they had little videos and stuff that they can show people different things. It's interesting. I never really looked into this before. Custom movement paths, way you can change how you're moving, how you resolve combat. These are different animations. I've turned them all off when I play just because it wastes time and I really don't care to see the same thing a bunch of times. You can retreat during combat if it's a land combat, not amphibious assault. And they have options for that. On combat, mobilization. These ones down here just show how each unit works, what they attack, defend, move, cost, and so you can go through those if you buy the game. Advanced rules. Never checked these out. What's this? Optional combats. Huh. Some more videos. Disengage from optional. Interesting. Well, yeah, they have some other things too. The differences between the board game and this game are there's a few of them, but Of course, you don't have to set up cards. There's no banker. Game automatically figures out how much money you're owed. Production capability, calculated, everything's automated, obviously. This is one of the biggest things. I used to hate dealing with the chips in the board game, but I played it many times, or I used to anyway. Once it became online, I stopped because setting it up and continuing it just takes too long. Casualties. Defender doesn't roll the dice button during attacks. Again, asynchronous play. It's just how they decided to go with it, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how the game is. And again, something I talked about earlier, you don't get to select your casualties. Defense profile is what you use, and it's not always good. Sometimes you want to change it up depending on this or that for whatever may be coming in, but it takes a round to change it. So if you wait until it's too late, you could be in big trouble if it's not set correctly. And again, some people would like round by round because maybe the first round you want to try to save your bomber and see what happens, but here you have no choice. However it's set up is how they're going to take things away. Can share territories, of course, but we can't share transports or aircraft carriers. Now this is a bug actually, because in every other game, computer game, had the old Hasbro, again going even back to AAA, you could land allied planes on carriers, and you could share transports too, even though the transports took, I think, an extra round to do that if it wasn't the same nationality. And this should have been fixed. It should be fixed. I don't understand why it hasn't been fixed. Combat board. It's just that type of thing. Defending subs, of course. Multinational defenses. I knew this, that if two or more powers are in the same region, the defense profile will take the power that's not in control. So say you are on Russia. Oh, here it is. The UK has infantry stationed in Russia, and Germany attacks Russia. Infantry for the UK will be removed from play before the Soviet Union infantry. So keep that in mind when you're playing that type of thing. But yeah, so interesting. And blitzing, examples of everything that's done. It's really nice that they have these little videos. Or yeah, that's wonderful job done. Canals, everything that you really need to know when you're playing this game. So that was done really, really well. Getting people to learn how to play, because this is a tough game, as some of you know. Little learning curve is a little bit, and it's a turn-based game, so not a lot of people are into that. Some people, but not a lot. Anyway, I think that's pretty much going to do it for my quick review. Oh, I didn't talk about hot seat. If you have people in the same room, they can play a game, and I guess you're just supposed to swap chairs. I guess you could put your name in, that type of thing. Choose obviously the same scenarios. But yeah, that's pretty much the only options that you have. One thing I wish that they had was actually a community. I mean, I know that there's a couple Discord channels, that type of thing. But I remember in the old Hasbro game, there was a lobby basically where you had to go to join to play games, and you could play games with anybody that you wanted to. You start trash talking, sure, we'll play a game and I'll play for my points, that you're ranking, that type of thing. Well, here again, you cannot play for ranking, so that's a moot point. You could play for bragging rights on a custom game, but I do really miss the sense of community. There's no way also to message your opponent. I don't know why they haven't included this. It was always nice, if somebody owns you or has a really good strategy to be like, good game or nice job, way to go. And then back in the day with the other games, I would go back through that game and look through phase by phase, turn by turn, where it was that what he did, how he did it, and how it, came to fruition, for whatever the plan exactly was at the time. But again, not having a community or a fractured community of what they have really kind of hurts. If anybody has any suggestions on good Discord channels, that type of thing, let me know. I'd appreciate it, but the ones I've joined or viewed, didn't really seem to be too active. So, but anyway, overall, I would say if you like Axis and Allies or turn-based games, buy this game. It's well worth the money. I think they charge $20 or something in the on Steam. I was able to buy this game for $10 or some 50% off Steam sale or the game or something, but I paid $10 for this game, and I've gotten so many hours of use and enjoyment out of it. But if you do enjoy Axis and Allies, I say buy it. $20 is nothing, and maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Who knows? But again, not having to set anything up and being able to have multiple games available is nice. You just go through and go do them, that type of thing. So, overall verdict, buy the game. There's quite a few things that they could have done better and should have done better, and I'm not sure if they're still in the early release. They were last time I checked, but I don't know if they've fully gone live or if it's full release, which even I don't know what that means. This game's been here for 2 years, and they've changed, things along the way. But again, number one thing is editing capability, and number two is letting players choose their game with certain players. And number three is just having a community and being able to message your person in between. I've seen a couple things on the message board. I know I'm rambling at this point, sorry, about, oh, they're worried that people are going to be trolls and they're going to be evil and that type of thing. Well, the thing is this game is basically played by mostly older people. Not a lot of young kids are playing it. Sure, some, but in all my years of having a chat box where you could talk to your opponent or congratulate them on a good win, I think maybe once or twice I had somebody get all mad about losing and start spewing stuff, but it wasn't really bad. They have a profanity filter, I know, because you can leave messages to your allies during games on this, and it has a profanity filter. But again, they really should put it so you can at least chat with your opponent, or at the very minimum, say good game at the end, that type of thing. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. Well, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know any things that I missed or that I didn't talk about or that I was flat out wrong on. Always welcome to take criticism. And but I do appreciate those watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you care to. Otherwise, have a good day and see ya.